Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and this is Have Roots Will Travel. Over the last several years, I have been focusing my attention on producing videos about each one of these amazing ladies, les filles du roi and les filles mariées. Each of them and their stories contribute to the tapestry that is Quebec, New France, and ultimately Canada and North America. So I'm thrilled to be able to bring these stories to you. Before we begin, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, like, and notify. The next are ways to help the channel itself grow. Coffee and Patreon are external platforms where you can contribute. And also, we have my PayPal button on Have Roots Will Travel, and you can donate there as well. And don't forget, you can look up, there's an index and also a links to the YouTube channel on my website as well. If you don't see your lady, please let me know. Email me and I'll put her on the list. Thanks so much. And let's get started and get to know our filles mariées of this episode. Let's talk a little bit about les filles mariées, the marriageable girls. This was a group of ladies who came to New France between 1634 and 1662. They are truly the bravest of the brave because they came when New France was really nothing more than an outpost, if you will. By the end of it, it was not as bad as it was in the 1630s and 40s, but certainly they were very unusual women because they came one at a time, a couple at a time. It was not a program like Les Filles du Roi that came later, but it was a way to try to populate the country. And we can see that there were about 262 filles mariées over a 28-year period. Obviously, this works out to about 10 a year. That's not enough to make a country because not everybody had, 15 children. So they were truly amazing women, and today we're going to be featuring episode 78, Anne Le Laboureux. And she comes to us not from a viewer request. She's actually one of my great-grandmothers. And when I kind of stumbled on it and went, hey, I haven't done one of mine in a while. So, permit me to explore Anne Le Laboureux. And if this is one of yours, please let me know in the comments below. Anne was born in 1630 in Caen, in France. Her parents were Thomas Le Laboureux and Marguerite Berdin. She is from the Normandy region of France in the Calvados department. Caen is actually the third largest city in Normandy with over 100,000 people. It has existed since Roman times and was originally had the name Catamolgus, which is Gaulish in origin, and it means field, and Cato means combat, so field of combat. It remained relatively small until the 10th century when William the Conqueror constructed the Chateau de Caen. Over the next few hundred years, Caen would go back and forth between France and England, and I was not able to confirm where she was baptized. Anne would come to New France in 1656 after losing both parents. The groom that selected her and she selected, Jean Normand, was born in 1636 in Ige, France. His parents were Gervais Normand and Leonard Joanneau. Ige is a small commune in the Normandy region in the Orne department. And Ige is part of the Perche community, which sent so many French immigrants to New France. In fact, Pierre Guédois, who was the first one to acquire land in Ville-Marie, was born here as well. Jean Lenormand is found on the plaque of people who are from this area. On the 18th of July, 1656, Anne married Jean, which is kind of ironic because my parents' anniversary is also on the 18th of July. And she is my great-grandmother and my mother's great-grandmother. So I love that synchronicity. family would settle at Charlebourg, which today is a borough of Quebec City. But back in the 16th century, it truly was one of the cornerstones of the area of Quebec and where les filles du roi and the filles mariées would congregate. This was a very important part of Quebec history. The origins of Charlebourg began with the concession of the Seigneurie of Notre-Dame-des-Anges in 1626 to the Jesuits. Now, by 1665, the new intendant of justice, Jean Talon himself, set out to establish 3 new villages further north on the plateau. As you can imagine, this caused friction with the Jesuits, who were the seigneurs of the area. The first village was Charlebourg, followed by Bourg-Royal and Petit-Auvergne. Now, you can tell by the picture on the left top of your screen how they are squares. And inside of a square is another little square. Well, that little square is the church, where the church was and should be. There's the diagram, if you will. And the concession to the inhabitants was literally star-shaped so that they were facing the church. There was a way of the Catholic Church to kind of be all there, and they were just really touching every single land grant in the various little villages. Now, this is a very unique layout. Most concessions were laid out in a linear fashion, usually facing a river, definitely in a straight fashion. The only other area that I've read about that has this is a town in Alberta. Now, as late as the 1960s, we can see from this aerial shot that the layout still remains. We've got that star-shaped pattern. The church that existed at the time, Saint Charles de Borromée. Now, this, of course, is how it looks now. This is how it looked in 1696. By 2002, it was amalgamated along with so many other cities, and so this created kind of a suburban, if you will, Quebec City with lots and lots of different suburbs. Charlebourg was not the only small town to be absorbed. Now, let's have a look at the census. We have 1666, we have Jean Normand with Anne, Marie, Jean, Charles, Jacques, and Jacques-François. We have in the 67 census, we have Jean, we have Anne, we have Marie, Jeanne, Charles, Anne, Jacques, François, Suzanne, and Jacques. Now, Jacques is 26. Jacques is not their son. He is an actual worker. Now, they have 10 beasts, which are 10 cows, let's say, and 7 alfamala, about 5 acres of land. They would go on to have 14 children. Marie would die in infancy. Marie-Elizabeth would marry Pierre Lambert and have 5 children, 4 of whom made it to adulthood. We have Anne, who passed away in infancy. We have Jean, who married Anne Chalifou and would have 6 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. We have Anne, who we believe passed away in childhood. We have Charles, who married Marie-Madeleine Dion and had 3 children, all of whom survived. He then married Françoise Monique Jean and had 5 children, all of whom survived. Jacques, we do not know what happens. Jacques-François, we also do not know. Suzanne would marry Jacques Huppé and would have 10 children, 9 of whom would survive and 8 would leave descendants. We have Marie, who we do not know what happened to. We have Joseph, who married Marie Charest and had 11 children, 8 of whom made it to adulthood. Jeanne-Françoise married Joseph Lemire and had 6 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Geneviève married François Trèfle and would have 4 children, all of whom made it to adulthood. Louis died at age 7. Now, in the 1681 census, we have Jean and Anne. Their children, Jean, Charles, Jacques, François, Marie, Joseph, Jeanne, Geneviève, and Louis. 2 guns, 12 bêtes à cornes, 12 horned animals, and 25 arpents, about 22 acres of land. It seems that all was not right with Jean and Anne fought for her rights. On July 15, 1692, she requested and received a séparation de corps et de biens, which in that day was truly a separation, that she could live apart. She did not want to be married. She said to the Conseil that she was receiving poor treatment from her husband. And so for a woman of that age to do what she did, and as her great granddaughter, filled with pride and admiration, she did obtain this separation. She could not, of course, obtain a divorce. Anne would pass away in 1700 at the age of 70. She was a remarkable lady, and she left us with a descendancy of 210 descendants as of 1729. Would remarry in 1703 to the widow Marie Madeleine Brassard. They would not have any children. Marie Madeleine's mother was Françoise Méry, who we profile in Filles Mariées episode 16. Jean would die 3 years later. He was found in his field. Originally, the belief was that he had committed suicide. However, upon a further investigation, the injuries he sustained were consistent with a homicide. The murder of Jean Normand was never solved. What a story. I mean, it's not enough that she had the courage to leave her homeland, come to a world that is completely foreign, get married, have all those children, survive, and then toward the end say, hey, you know what, this guy is not treating me so great, and demanded and got a separation. So I gotta admire that. That takes some chutzpah. So yes, I'm very proud to call her my Grand-Maman Marianne, and I appreciate her gifts and her courage and what she fought for. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, Grand-Maman. And with that, I will say as well, thank you to all my supporters and patrons and subscribers. All of you are amazing and help keep me going on when sometimes I'm like, what have I got myself into? Thank you so much to all of you for supporting my work. And with that, I will bid you adieu until I see you on the next episode of Les Filles Mariées. Until then, au revoir.